King of Nothing, saying that everybody hates Mark Zuckerberg. And I don't understand this. Now, I will preface this by saying I do like King of Nothing. Now, sometimes he goes on videos and makes videos about people, I like, and he doesn't like them for some reason. Right? But that's fine. I've always said that, I like watching content by people whom I disagree with as long as it's funny. Like I said, it's Stanley Animation's channel. Sure, he's acting like that the entire South is, a freaking Klan rally running around there, and that's entirely wrong, but, at least he's funny. So, I'll give him a pass. But King of Nothing, he's a little bit more sane than that. He's not running around saying that South Carolina is having Klan rallies or something like that. Okay, make something believable, bro. Anyway, King of Nothing, I like the guy. He's talking about Mark Zuckerberg, and he talks about how he hacked into the Harvard database and made this face swap thing, and he did some shady thing. Yeah. Okay, look, Mark Zuckerberg did do some shady things, and yes, yesterday I did talk about how teens shouldn't be drinking. Which, side tangent here, why is everybody so upset? I did this in the America Bad Reddit. I got some pushback on it, but overall, it's one of my top posts of all time, so that's good. I am a very famous America Bad contributor, but. Why are people so intent on having 18, 19, 20-year-olds drink alcohol? Like, if it was up to me, they wouldn't. No one would be drinking at all. But like, okay, it's at 21. Who cares? It is not your human right. Okay, no one. Who has died because they didn't have alcohol? Okay, no one. What do people need alcohol so much for? Okay, and those kids who got raided and who got caught, they deserved it. If they did wrong and they got caught, I don't know why people online are freaking out about this. I mean, sucks for them. Womp womp. Hey guys, don't post your crimes on the internet. Okay, 249 people all committed the crime. Okay, look, one time I committed a sting operation against 6 people. And people are gonna say this against me. Oh, you side with Mark Zuckerberg for doing some shady stuff that I don't really care about. But you said that wrong is wrong and right is right. Well, yeah, okay. First of all, Mark Zuckerberg was able to get out of the situation, and they weren't. And second of all, I have sided with some people who did some illegal stuff some of the time. Anyway, he's Teflon. He's untouchable. He's unbeatable, and that's cool. Okay, that is. Actually, when you look at this from a pragmatic level, it's actually pretty cool. To do what he did and pull what he pulled and be able to get away with what he got away with is cool. I mean, no one died. Okay, did anyone die? No. Okay, then we're fine here. Okay, I'm not saying that you should go out there and murder someone and get away with it. No, I'm just saying like, he committed some computer stuff. Big whoop. Yeah. In the past, I personally have not committed any crimes, but I've teamed up with people who have done some wrong. I mean, our own national security advisor blackmailed people, but they were doing wrong anyway. We had a plan to team up with Pencil Felon and Fate G-Cam, who was our greatest ally, which is also rife with some moral issues. So it's not behind the bell. That's the thing that I would have done the same should I be in his position. Also, some other kids, some other intelligence agents were sneaking out of the houses. So, like, is that wrong? Yeah, sure. But, are we going to sit around here and be like, hey, guys, yeah? No. Look, if we ran school, like, saying everyone had to adhere to these strict moral standards and have them all take the purity test or something, we'd only have 2 agents, and that's not a good way to run a school. Okay, look, we'll work with the 33s, we'll work with the 100s, we'll work with the 50s, we'll work with anyone in between as long as you're not doing anything illegal that directly affects me. So if you're going to steal a car, don't steal my car. Okay, the China stuff that he did was bad and is anti-America, so I'm anti that. But he didn't even get into China, so it doesn't really matter. So all the stimping that he did for China was absolutely for nothing. He didn't get into China, so all the crimes that could have been committed didn't happen. So I'm just gonna ignore that from there. But I can't really find any other real criticism. Oh yeah, he did some kind of maybe sort of illegal stuff back at Harvard. I don't care. Oh, the kids are upset and have issues or shortened attention spans. This was such a major issue. They're saying 1 in 8 kids got mad because they saw something on Instagram. Okay, guys. Now, I don't like this person, but, she said something smart. Life is tough. Get a helmet. Okay, people. Please, cry me. Oh, no, you saw a picture on Instagram and it made you sad. Is that supposed to be a crime now? Like, grow up. No one is forcing you at gunpoint to use the app. If it makes you that sad to see someone prettier than you, then leave. Okay, like, do you people not go outside? Do you not go to school? Okay, I can ascertain to every person on planet Earth that there is, except for one person who's prettier than you. Okay, so when you open Instagram, it's just gonna show you that too. What do you people think that if you don't use the app, then there's this as well? No. And then they're talking about, oh, people have short attention spans. No one reads books anymore. Oh, did Facebook, did Meta burn books at the stake? Did they apparently ban books? Because I have been able to read books. I read lots of books, and I've been able to use Meta services. Oh, it fries your brain. Like okay, and what kind of what kind of problem is this? Crimean River. I want you people to come up with things that you want teens to do. You come up with a solution for that first. No, spending all their time. All right, you come up with a nice teen-safe internet platform. You come up with something that's that's fun. You come up with something. No one's come up with anything. You come up with something for teens to do. Okay, once you come up with that, then we'll get to that. But right now, there's nothing. Okay, and that's your teen redditor who apparently is going on trips on private jets with all their wealthy friends. But then at that point, it's different. And then of course they're like, oh, they don't let their teens use these services. Now I think it's kind of sad they don't let them use these services, but of course they don't let them use these services. They're multi-millionaires and billionaires. I mean, their team would be under constant threat. More threat than any team that's on the service and platform today. Okay, the average 6 to 10,000 follower account isn't under threat. They're not under fire. They'll be fine. Okay, if you're a child of Mark Zuckerberg, you are under more threat because of who your father is than the average random kid from Sugarland or something like that. Okay, the random kid from the Woodlands, it's fine. Okay, Kinley is fine. People, no, there are no threats against her person. No credible threats. Right. And then he talks about, oh, well, it's taking away human connection. Used to be, this is from King of Nothing, used to be getting out there and getting rejected by a girl, and used to be getting out there and getting drunk in a bar. Guys, once again, back to the drinking thing. Getting drunk is bad, and I assure you, no one is sitting out there being like, hey, guys, yeah, I get rejected today, but there's Instagram, I'm just going to stay home. Okay, first of all, there's a 98% failure rate, so I don't really understand why anyone would actually do anything. Second of all, the real world is, people going, oh my goodness, your internet failed. Yeah, whatever. The real world is actually boring sometimes. Yeah, guys. Oh, touch grass. Grass is boring, and I'll make an app for that. But you people haven't actually given any solutions. You just offered some vague criticisms like, oh, people, the internet entertainment content is too short, and we have such a splintered populace of people who don't know any references and from things. People are like, oh, well, the TV shows back in the 90s, everyone was watching like the same 3 shows. Now it's a whole bunch of it's millions, billions of reels. Well, I mean, I grew up and didn't know any trends, and look how I turned out. I turned out fine, right? And it's ridiculous. Now, the only thing that Mark Zuckerberg has done wrong, and according to this video documentary that King of Nothing did, it's 3 hours long. I watched almost the whole thing. Was that he wrote down all of his quote-unquote crimes, right? Because all the stuff sounds bad, and that's just me. It sounds bad that you quote unquote stole someone's idea. It sounds bad that you want more people to use your platform. It sounds bad that there's a quote unquote effects that quote unquote affect people's mental health. Okay, fine, guys. I'm gonna give you some free legal advice. Don't write it down in files and then get subpoenaed by Congress, in which you have to show those files, and then it's bad PR. That is 101, guys. If you're going to commit crime, what Facebook did wasn't a crime, but if you're going to commit crimes, don't write down evidence of your crimes. Now, obviously, writing something down on the paper and saying a crime happened isn't proof. Okay, I can't just write down, hey guys, I stomped this kid over here stomped on that person's head yesterday, and then the police come and arrest him. That's not proof of anything. That's just proof that someone wrote something somewhere. Right? All right. And the quote unquote crimes that he did was that he wanted to crush his competition in emails. Big whoop. Okay, guys, breaking news here. I want to crush my competition, and I want to win above all. Is that supposed to be a crime? Is that supposed to be a crime now? He wants to crush his competition. the EU, who finded something useful by banning some Huawei, wants to ban some Huawei products, it apparently is under this stupid notion that every company should have like some little market share. Snapchat gets 30%, Facebook gets 30%, some random stupid, Fediverse service gets 30% here. No, okay, you're only gonna have like 5 or 6 main applications from a company. Of course, there's gonna be a quote unquote monopoly. I mean, no one's gonna create 12 different accounts just so they can keep up with their friends under the purpose of free trade or anti monopoly competitive behavior. Look, if Facebook offered me, if I had a messaging app in 2014 and they offered me billions of dollars to buy it, of course I buy it. I don't care if Facebook owns all the messaging apps if they make me a billionaire. The heck do I care? Look, of course I take that. These stupid EU and data regulations and anti-competition. You can only have about a few social networks at a time. Now, should Mark Zuckerberg have written in such violent language that he was going to want to crush his competition in an internal email? Now, I don't understand why all these internal emails were saved and apparently have to be presented before Congress and all these other things. I mean, if you're such a big company, you have all these annoying whistleblowers that just leak documents. The smart thing to do is to have in-person meetings where you scan everyone for bugs and don't produce any documents except for the documents that you're required by law to have, such as documents that you need to produce as a publicly traded company. I mean, if these people are so annoyed at you that you are apparently a company and not a charity whose job it is to make money and have people on your platform, which everyone acts like is a crime, then yeah, you probably shouldn't be writing this stuff down. But I mean, did he do anything wrong? I mean, he's just admitting stuff out loud that everyone knows. Okay, like, is it a crime to be competitive? Because I'd be in jail for 60 years. The only crime he committed was writing this stuff down. And these people, of course, who go on this, it just emboldens these people who are on social media who are performative about hating social media. Now, of course, I was one of those people. I mean, you can look up, I hate TikTok. But, TikTok is a Chinese communist spy application. So I have fairness in that. But, it's not a thing. It is a trend that it's just a trend. Hating something is a trend. Being anti-trend is a trend. It's just not that good or competitive or strategic of a trend. I would know because I used to be one of those anti-trend people. I mean, look, I don't hate the 6'7" meme because, look, I mean, the 6'7" meme's not bad and it's not doing anything wrong and it's genuinely liked by a lot of people. I mean, of course, there's an entire community of people under 30% that doesn't like something, but I mean, I don't care because it's pragmatically and strategically a horrible idea to engage with them. I mean, that's basically how this company was built, being kind of anti-smartphone, kind of anti-social media, kind of all that stuff, but that didn't really do anything because actually these people like their content. So be saying, oh, I hate Instagram Reels because everyone's on it. Hating something because everyone's doing it isn't actually strategy, right? It's always been banged into our heads that if all your friends jumped off a bridge, but you do it too, but we must stop and ask, why are they jumping off a bridge, right? I'm not friends with dumb people. I'm not friends with idiots. So, to some degree, we have to ask, why are they jumping off a bridge? There's probably a good reason why they're jumping off a bridge. I mean, is this actually hurting anyone? No. Okay. Is that military dance that we did for the teen of the week where she was, I don't know what that was. Was that hurting anyone other than her joints from all that movement? No. And, it got her what she wanted. So, congratulations to her. That's my new outlook. That's my new strategy in life. Like for the artificial intelligence and to the Instagram girls and all these people. Right. We want to defeat and collab with the IT kiddos, and we want to beat them at their own game by using their own rules. We can't beat them just by hating their game and hating their rules. Okay, it'd be like beating them trying to play cricket while everyone else is playing basketball. Okay, you can hate basketball all you want and try to beat the basketball players by playing cricket, but this is the United States of America. Basketball is infinitely more popular than cricket. And that's why we need vital intel, and that's what a better way to have it than Instagram. Now, there was another criticism that they had, which was that Instagram and Facebook, of course, they track stuff and collect data for advertisers. And, of course, they did some in kind of shady ways, like creating a VPN, a fake VPN that tracked when people opened up stories and that they were copycats. First of all, I mean, what else is there to innovate? And Instagram stories are a lot better than Snapchat stories. Okay, Snapchat it's trash. I don't know how to make money. They don't really make money. I don't really know how to still in business, but they just got Chinese investment or something. So if people are running out there to defend Snapchat and criticize Meta, just look at who their investors are. Second of all, they talk about, oh, they're collecting all this data. Oh, they're so bad. I mean, what really are they going to do with this data? It's more invasive to, like I said, for these parental control applications because, it's more localized. It'd be more like if the mayor is collecting data rather than, the president or the national security advice. The national security advice isn't going to go through all 30 million Americans' phones, 300 million Americans' phones and, scan individually one by one. He doesn't have time for that. That's what Facebook is doing. Like, they're not going to go through half the world's phones and scan for something like that. And people shouldn't be downloading these scam VPN applications anyway. So they kind of got what was coming to them, and if they should have read the terms and conditions. I mean, the terms and conditions are long. Of course, they're long because you have to have everything under every anything that could happen, because the people who hate these companies are going to try to sue them for everything that they're worth. They're going to try to rip them off. I mean, it's ridiculous, and they have to put that in there. It's like, oh, you don't have informed consent. I mean, no one's forcing you to not read it. I mean, you could read it. It's just like, I don't know why you do that. And you're like, oh, they track your eye movement. They track this. They track that. They track that. And I mean, hot take here. And I'm going to cut to this. But I actually like ads that are targeted towards me. I mean, I don't want ads about, some monkeys in India or something, like for some zoo in India. I don't care about that. I'm not going to India. And on Instagram, the ads are barely targeted, but I mean, at least they're a little bit interesting. Some of them are scammy, some of them are not. But I mean, I prefer having some targeted ads from Facebook services that are popping up in apps and on Instagram. I prefer having hyper-targeted ads than having the trash, scammy, oh, hey, guys, you want to see your crush's photos on Snapchat? Like, okay, guys, this is such an obvious scam. Ads, right? Targeted ads are actually good. I don't understand why people are against them. Like, would you rather see a ad on TV on a channel that you don't really watch, or would you rather see an ad for something that that you want? That's how the economy works, right? Now, see, it's like for some Christian book. Now, the ads here aren't really as targeted, but at least it's targeted for the target audience of this website. Right, but Facebook Meta isn't going to make that much money doing that, and as a publicly traded company, their number one goal is legally to make money for their customers. And as long as the data doesn't go into the hands of an evil person, I think it's fine. And even if it does fall into the hands of some evil person, people say Mark Zuckerberg's an evil person. No, Mark Zuckerberg's not an evil person because he, did something wrong once and when he was 19 years old. Okay, he's fine. You think he's going in and typing out, oh, this random person, this. No, he's not doing that. And you say, oh well, it makes people upset. He made the algorithm. Everyone whines about the algorithm all the time. And let's talk about TikTok. Then they just simp for it and worship it for some reason. Oh, the algorithm makes people see stuff that they don't want to see. It's not as social as it could be. Oh, the algorithm makes people upset. Well, you could just become like me and not be upset by what you see online because 90% of it is fake. Okay, 90% of the internet is fake. And if you do see something online, you could just be like, oh, okay, and then move on with your life, okay? You don't have to sit around there and have a protest for every little injustice, quote unquote, that happens in your life, okay? You don't need to sit around there and whine all the time. It's not his fault that you're whining. It's not his fault that you did this. It's your fault that you chose to be upset. It's not like Instagram zapped your brain and told you, hey, guys, get angry, okay? No, it's your fault, okay? Control your emotions, people. And for the hot take here, targeted ads are cool. And just ads in general are cool, right? People on the internet are constantly complaining that there are ads and everything. They whine about the unskippable ads on YouTube. And despite YouTube's biases, it is much better than Rumble, okay? Everyone's like, oh, go to Rumble. Rumble is trash. Rumble is horrid. Okay, Rumble's UI is bad, and Rumble's also Canadian. YouTube's American, so YouTube gets a point there as well. YouTube stores and hosts petabytes of data, supports live streams, and has growing short form platform. Not that's trash, but still it's growing. And you get all that for 1 minute ad in the video. You can watch an entire podcast, maybe get 3 or 4 ads. And people will sit there and complain, oh, I had to sit there for watch a 1 hour ad. I mean, back then, you want to watch a 25-minute television, so you're going to get 3 or 4 4-minute ads, right? You're going to get, you want to watch 30 minutes of television. Wheel of Fortune will probably be about an hour long because you get 30 minutes of ads. You watch the NFL, 15 minutes of football, 3 hours of ads. Like, and you don't really see anyone complaining about that, but you see an ad on YouTube. I can't believe YouTube is so greedy. I can't believe that YouTube wants money. I can't believe that YouTube is showing ads. Like, come on, people. Come on. YouTube is one of the greatest sites on planet. It hosts petabytes, maybe even larger. Well, I don't even know what's after the exabytes of data. And you were complaining about an ad on a video? Are you kidding me? And you're like, oh, well, this is terrible. We got to use all these workarounds, and Google's such an evil corporation. Well, okay, fine. You go out there. You create your own video streaming platform. You go out there and host petabytes of data. You go out there and create a website that is for use almost all the way across the globe. You go out there and promote it. You go out there and get some investment. You go out there and get, 90% of the online video revenue share. And then you go out there and tell me what you do next. You always talk about, oh, these people are evil capitalists. They get turned, they have millions and millions of dollars, and they don't let the money trickle down to us poor people, which is really funny because apparently, you apparently can afford to use YouTube, and you're just paying for it with your ad. And of course, people on the privacy subreddits are going to be wondering, oh, you're paying for your privacy. Like, okay, you really think Google's going to be showing up to your house? Like, nah, okay. And then it's not even just YouTube. It's these other services as well, right? Cable and satellite TV, we pay good money for that, and you still get ads, and no one really complained about that. And now people are whining out there's ads and streaming services that cost about $100 to $150 a year. Oh, streaming services are so expensive. First of all, no one's forcing you to watch that television show. Second of all, you can always cancel. And I do like that streaming services are including ads in content and then lowering the price. Like, I'm actually fine with Tubi. Absolutely. I'm 100% free with ads. I'm actually fine with streaming services having a 30-second, 1-minute ad, and I get $3 off of a month of streaming services. Yes, watching some ad is worth $27 to me. $27 off if I were to pay $3. Let's say they take $3 a month off, and they, extend it for 9 months. There you go, 27. Even more, $36. And people act like it's this great hole that ads exist. Yes, people want you to buy stuff. That's how the economy works. And targeted ads are even better because, streaming services, they can kind of do targeted ads. TV companies, they don't really do targeted ads. But, on your phone, targeted ads across the internet, I'm thankful for Meta for doing that. I'm thankful for Google for doing that. They know my likes, my dislikes, my interests. Now, I don't understand why Oculus Quest may want to track your eye movements, but I do understand why Instagram and other platforms may want to know how long you looked at a post and what the post was and what you're interested in and all of that. That makes sense. And, it's like, it's a platform for people to spy on you, like the NSA. I'm going to get hate for this, but I don't care. And the NSA already knows this. The NSA is a top tier, cool, 8 spy agency. What the NSA does is super cool. And, people always talk about, you have these countries that, the CIA overthrew their government. Well, they shouldn't have been weak. They should have had a better military. Kind of sucks for them. They shouldn't have lost. So too bad, so sad for them. Like, don't lose next time. That's my advice to you. You don't see, any other countries coming over here and trying to overthrow us because they know they're going to lose. So just don't lose. Sucks for you. And, if you don't want this to happen, then just get a phone and then put it in a Faraday cage. Now, of course, your phone's not going to make any calls or anything, but, if that's worth it to you, then do that. But, don't go spewing across the internet about how much you hate the internet and how much, you hate these people. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, sure, he did a few maybe little sketchy things, but what he's done is great. Now, I will have some criticism for this there was only one real criticism on the video, which was that he made the world a little bit less social. I wouldn't say he made it less social. Okay, everyone's acting like that but before Facebook existed, everyone was just frolicking around with 10 friends, and they all just started, But when Facebook came in, then people stopped having friends. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that in the 90s and the early 2000s, everyone just had, all these friends, people going over to people's houses and having parties and stuff like that. And, I can't really prove or disprove it because, there wouldn't be any proof that it happened because no one would have had it to post on because then Facebook wouldn't have existed. But the truth of the matter is I doubt that happened. But I don't think people's friendships have declined since the 90s to the early 2020s, almost the late 2020s now. Wow. But he could make it incline. He could make it go up, right? They were whining that more of the content is algorithmic based because let's be for real. These content platforms, if they just had you looking at your friends and what your friends are doing, quite frankly, what they're doing is probably boring, and I don't care what they're doing. But what people do want is content. What they do want is entertainment. That's what it is. So people gravitate towards that as well. That's why these applications that only have the, what do they call it? I don't know what they call it. Chronological feed aren't doing so well. People don't want to switch over. They're acting like they're being held at gunpoint. No, it's like they like it. They like the algorithmic content, right? Because it's entertaining to them. And, we're kind of starved for entertainment today because television shows, they're trash. We look at Saturday's horrible TV show. I don't know what's popular, not like Stranger Things, which apparently came out in 2019, which means Stranger Things has been around since I was in 7th grade because it came out in summer of 2019. It's finishing up, and they only had 18 episodes? No, not Stranger Things. What's that other show? Adolescent. Euphoria. Yeah, that's what it is. Euphoria. 18 episodes, and almost 7 years. Are you kidding me, people? You took 6 years to make 18 episodes? For context, it takes me 18 weeks to make 18 episodes of this podcast. Yeah, I don't know why people are turning away from TV. I can't believe it. I don't know why people are on their phones. Maybe if you didn't take and make 3 episodes a year, maybe if it didn't take you an entire year to film a scene, maybe people would make stuff. And maybe if all these shows went, trash and anti, would get, kicked off of plugged in, maybe people would actually watch. But, stop whining about that. People are starved for entertainment. And, having an application we just see what your friends are doing, that's what we call a group chat. Okay, that's why iMessage doesn't make money. It sells iPhones, but iMessage isn't, for sale. And that's the EU forces them to do that, which I would not like. Okay, look, if Apple wants to have their own walled garden and force people in it, look, it's my job. I'm pro Samsung. I like Android. To convince people to not use Apple devices, but it's their phone and their choice, and it's a free country, and they can decide to have a walled garden. If Apple woke up one day and decided, hey guys, we're not going to allow you to download more than 5 apps, then I think actually Apple would survive. Email, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and then one game. Yeah, 90% of their customer base would be fine. Actually, no, email is built in, so you get 2 free apps. There we go. Apple Arcade, that counts as 1. Oh my goodness, I'm probably giving ideas to Apple. Don't do that, Apple. Actually do, because then it will sell lots more Android phones. But look, my point is, Apple can do whatever the heck they want, and I can criticize them for whatever the heck they want. But the EU shouldn't be stepping in for this. But back to the topic of social media, well, of course it's an entertainment platform. What? You want people to just look at what their friends are doing? That's what the group chat is for, right? Well, I've heard of these group chats, never really been in one, right? But I assume that's what they're doing in the group chats. Other than, of course, some, borderline illegal stuff. Most likely that's what they're doing in the group chats, which is why it was so important, so key for us to get access to group chats so we can have an intelligence deal and share information with GCAP. But I digress. It's neither here nor there. Of course, they transitioned to an entertainment platform. Obviously, it makes sense. But what Instagram does need to do, and what they could do, is add some sort of a skin, some sort of a layer. I've talked about this before. That makes making friends on there easier. They already have Facebook dating. They could just port that to Instagram, except change it from dating to friendship, making that be great. You would destroy communist whiz in Yubo in days. It would be over. It'd be the greatest feature known to man. You already know people's inferred ages. You have artificial intelligence that can scan through the photos. You have all this technology, and yet you don't leverage it. And it would be a very big project for someone like me or some other technological developers to come along and leverage it, so we can't really do it. Why, Instagram? Why? You have all this data, and you're putting it to good use by giving it out and selling ads with it, which is perfectly fine. Which is perfectly fine. What else were they going to do with the data? Look at it. Well, oh, guys, look, this person liked the red dress. Wow, isn't that interesting? You think Mark Zuckerberg is sitting up there like, wow, look at this kid. She liked 3 images. Interesting. And just takes notes. Like, what? You think he cares? Nah. Okay, they sold the data, which is fine in my opinion. I mean, it's not like they were gonna sit there and look at it or something. But they could actually use this to create the greatest filmmaking app ever known, or at least allow other developers to do that as well. I mean, it'd be amazing. It'd be a technological advancement. It'd be an achievement. You know, he's gonna get the Nobel Peace Prize for this. So that was one fair criticism, but all these other criticisms about he does illegal stuff. Oh, it hurts people. Oh, you know, it breaks their attention spans. Oh, you know, there's that harvesting. It's just a bunch of cope. It's a bunch of cope because the people making the videos, of course, they hate the billionaires, which I don't understand why. Like, why would you hate someone because they have more money than you? That's ridiculous.